Hello, and welcome to History 11. I'm Dr. Weber, and I will be the instructor for this class. A little bit about the class. This is a basic, standard U.S. history class that will cover from the beginnings of English settlement in 1607 until just up to before the Civil War. It's a very basic class that is transferable to any four-year school in California I know of. The college has agreements with the Cal State and UC systems. We have agreements with all of the private schools in the state. And although we don't have agreements if you want to transfer out of state, I know that, that probably every school in the country has a basic U.S. history class, an introductory class in U.S. history, and this will satisfy that requirement. So it's a very standard class, and I will tell you, frankly, my approach to it is very traditional, very standard. There's a lot of people in U.S. history today do all kinds of innovative new things. Well, I don't. My class is it's just as basic and as ordinary. There's no tricks, no gimmicks. I'm not one for special trick plays or anything like that, so you'll find it as a very ordinary U.S. history class. Now, I hope you all have access to the syllabus. I hope you've had a chance to read that. If you haven't, you need to see how you can use Canvas to get to the syllabus, and that will explain to you what the class is about, how it's going to run. Some things that I should note about that: you will need to buy a textbook. I know in the past sometimes students didn't buy the textbook, but I think it is a requirement that you buy the textbook. The textbook that's on the syllabus is the one that the department uses and has been available in the bookstore. You can buy it any way you can think of online. I don't even know if the bookstore is open. If you could go over to the campus and go to the bookstore and buy it there, there's probably lots of ways that you can buy it online. The volume that I put on the syllabus is the latest one that the department is using, but you can use other versions of it. There are other editions. You can buy a single volume. You can buy all kinds of other versions of it. It doesn't matter. You can use older editions. The pages will be different. There are a couple of places where I've indicated some pages. Those are from that current 6th edition. But if you use an older edition, you use the 5th edition, you can, I don't know if there would be very many older versions, but you can use any edition. The only rules are that you have to buy volume 1, which covers the years that this class will cover, the equivalent of History 11, and you have to get the book by Eric Foner. But the specifics, you can get anything you want, and it's easier, and probably you can get a used edition or something very easily. And you need to buy that quickly, because you're going to start having quizzes this week on Chapter 1, next week on Chapter 2. You can have extra time for taking those quizzes so that you can buy the textbook, but you need to have it within 2 weeks. So get right on that and figure out how to do it, and find a way that you probably know better than I do how to use the internet to buy textbooks online. Just make sure that you buy Foner Chapter 1. As you see from the syllabus, I'm going to be giving 2 lectures per week. These will each be an hour. Every week I'll have 2-hour lectures. You can look at those at your discretion. You can find them. We'll put them up on online, on Canvas. Each week there will be 2 lectures available. You can look at them at your discretion. There's an option of having classes, they call it synchronous, whereby you would have to be at class at that time. I've opted not to do that. I've opted to set it up so that The lectures will just be there, they'll be posted, and you can look at them at your discretion. But you must go to those lectures. You are required to view at some time during the week both of those lectures. And to monitor that, which I didn't do last semester, and I didn't know how to set it up, and I didn't do it right. Just a note, last semester I'd been teaching this class in class on campus, and then about mid-March when the virus hit, we switched to online, and I had never done this before, and I'm still learning the technology. Well, just a note about myself. I started teaching at Harbor College in 1975. So as of this moment, I believe that I am the oldest member of the department in chronological age, and I am the longest serving member of the college, of the Department of Social Sciences. So I've been around for a long time. I retired in 2004, but continued to teach as an emeritus adjunct professor. And that's an issue in the regular school program, because I'm not on I wouldn't be on campus except for the classes. It's not an issue now, but you may know that, you may want to know, it may affect you that that I am not a regular member of the department anymore. I still go to department meetings, and but I don't set policy for the department, as only full-time members do that, and I am no longer a full-time member of the department as a retiree. But I had never taught online until last semester, and many of my colleagues have been teaching online for a long time, but I had not, and I was really out of my element, and I still don't really know what I'm doing. And just a note, all of the technology for this class is handled by my son, who knows technology. I don't. So if there are technological issues, we'll refer them to him. But I do feel that it's important for you to come to class. As I was starting to say, last semester when I did this for the first time, I didn't realize that people were not coming to class, they were not attending the lectures, and you have to. It's a requirement. It's a rule. You have to attend both classes. So to make sure you do, I will, at the end of each class, this is all explained on the syllabus, but near the end of the class, each class, not today, not this introductory class, but at the end of the class, I will ask a very simple question that will be answerable from the material in the lecture. And you will then have to reply using Canvas. You will have to reply and give me the answer to that question. And if you don't answer, as it says on the syllabus, you'll get 0 points. But also, under college rules, and I don't make these rules, this is actually made, even the college doesn't make it, it's made by the district, and I think the district only does it because the state requires it. But if you're not attending class, I can't keep you in the class. And it's the state that doesn't want the college to be getting credit for students who are not attending. So if you're not attending, if you're not going on to the lectures and listening to the lectures, then I'll have to exclude you through the usual college process. If you miss 3 lectures during the semester, if you miss any 3 lectures, then under what are state rules that come through the college and come to me, then I'll just have to exclude you from class. I didn't do that last minute, and I got into trouble because there were students who were not attending, and that causes all problems for the college and the state, and it involves money and so forth, so it's a big deal. It's a serious issue. So I have to keep track of that, and I have to do a better job than I did previously. So I'll be checking to see that you attend class, and I'll give you credit. The questions are very simple. If you get it, if you just answer it, you'll get, but it's wrong, you'll get a point. If you give an answer but it's very poor, you'll get 2 points. If you give a simple, correct answer, which is real easy, the questions will sort of answer themselves. If you've been attending the class, if you've been paying attention at all, you'll know the answer. It's not a trick question. And you'll be able to get then 3 points. And so for the 28 lectures that I'm giving during the semester, you'll be able to get a total of 84 points towards your final grade. In addition to that short little question after each lecture that you'll have to just respond to on Canvas, we'll be posting every week, starting with this week, we'll be posting a 10-question multiple choice quiz. And the quizzes are taken from the textbook. That's why it's so important for you to buy the textbook. I use as the source of my questions the instructor's manual for the class. And I will give you 10 questions, multiple choice. They will all be taken from the book, but I select questions to pick the 10 out of the 30 or 40 that are for each chapter provided by the publisher. I will pick those that I've covered in class, so that you should be able to answer the questions with information from the book and lectures. And then to help you, we'll be sending out every week some little clips that are provided by the publisher with statements by the author of the book, by Professor Foner, who teaches at Columbia University and whom I knew and worked with back in 1979. I was involved in some work with Eric Foner in New York a long time ago. But there are some little brief surveys or little brief statements by Professor Foner that will be available nearly every week. I don't think there's every week that there's one, but and that will help you too. There will be ways that you can get some information that will help you with the quizzes. So you'll take those quizzes, you'll have the week to take the quiz, and you'll have 10 minutes to do each quiz. You'll have to access it on Canvas, and you'll only have it during that week. It's only going to be posted during that week, and you'll have to answer it within 10 minutes. You only have 10 minutes to take the quiz. There are then 15 weeks of lectures, so there'll be 15 quizzes. At the end of the semester, I will drop your lowest quiz score, pick your 14 highest quizzes, and give you then 10 points for each quiz, so that's another 140 points towards your final grade. And then at the end of the semester, you'll have a final exam. I will give you a 60-question multiple choice final exam that will cover the entire semester. The questions will be somewhat based on, similar to, maybe even identical to, or just simply new questions. So the material on the final will be familiar. It won't be exactly what you've been quizzed on, but it'll be close to it. So if you've been doing a good job all semester long, if you've been staying on top of things, you won't have any trouble with the final exam. And I'm not one to give trick questions. I'm not one to give, cover material on the exams that I haven't covered in the lectures. If you pay attention to the lectures, if you take good notes, and if you study your notes, you'll do well. And you should take notes. You should treat this as a lecture. It's like a college class. It's the same thing as if you were going to campus and sitting in a classroom. It's just that instead of an hour and 25 minutes, it's only an hour, because you'll have other time that you'll need to use for the quizzes and the other work that you'll do, listening to the little supplements from Professor Foner. And you can do well in the class if you study, if you make an effort. Now, I will be available at any time to your questions. You can always at any time send me an email. My email address is in the syllabus. As I mentioned there, I use my own personal email because the college email system is beyond my comprehension. So, as a lot of things are. But so I'll have I use my own email, and the address is on the syllabus. And you're welcome to send me any question at any time. You're always open to do that. And as far as I know, all semester long I'll be here. I don't plan to leave California at any time during the semester. So I'll be always available. I'll be at home every day, all day. And so you can always text me, or you can always send me an email, and I'll answer it, and I'll try to answer it as carefully and as comprehensively as I can. So you're welcome to do that. I will also be keeping office hours. I'm not going to do that on this first class, but every Monday and Wednesday of every week I will be available via Zoom, and the Zoom link will be available to you each week. I think it's going to be the same. I don't know exactly how Zoom works. I don't know much about technology, but we'll put out a link for you to use to connect to a Zoom meeting, and you can come to office hours on Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. every Monday, and I'll be available. I'm going to be sitting there in front of my computer looking for anybody that wants to come to the office hour and ask questions and talk about things in lecture, talk about anything you want to talk about. You're all welcome to do that. You can come in and ask questions. If you have a question and you want to talk about it, you're welcome to come to the office hour to do that. If you just want to come and sit and just kind of listen to see what other people are asking and just sort of find out what's going on, that's an option too. And I'll stay on there as long as anybody's around. I don't know if anybody's going to come. If nobody shows up, I'll wait a little while, and then if nobody shows up, then I'll close down the meeting. Otherwise, I'll stay there, and I'll stay on the Zoom until everybody's answered the questions, everybody's happy, and then you can all leave. So that's an option for you to get information about the class, to find out, ask questions about the lectures, to find out what's going on in the class, to ask anything that comes up that you want to talk about. I don't think of anything else that I need to say today. I'm not going to keep you I'm not going to run the full hour this time. I'm not going to start class material until my second lecture of the week. But I can't think of anything else that I need to cover today. This is the end of today's class, or this first class, and there will be another class that you can access where we start the actual lectures on the actual material. So again, if there's anything that I didn't cover, I may have missed things. If I didn't cover something, if you have any questions, send me an email or come to the office hour on Wednesday at 10.